We are live now, Divya.
Thank you, Kranti. Hi, team. Let's see how we can just extract the checkbox value using a Abbyy Flexi capture today, right? So for the demo, I'm just going to consider the first value where I do have three checkboxes, and out of three, one is checked and other two are unchecked values. So let's see how I can just go ahead and extract the values. So before I go and extract the values for the checkbox, I'm going to extract the references for the specific checkboxes, and I'm going to create of elements of the type static text, right? And I'm going to create statement of actual services. I'm just going to copy Control C, replace this, Control V, and I'm going to add a couple of relations. Bottom of this and above of the bottom with minus 150, right? Save. Okay. I'll just save. I'll do Control E. Okay, I'm able to get the statement of actual service. So let me create two more. One is for request for this, Control V, Control C. Okay, you cannot have any of the other special characters in the name other than underscore. Okay, so that's where you were getting that issue. Request. It is not necessary that you have to type everything over here every time. You can just right click, copy the recognition text, come here and paste it, and go to the relation above of the bottom of this, minus 25, below of the top, and also add one more relation right of the statement of actual services, right? Control E. Okay, I got the proper value. Let's extract the third one. Option copy, Control A, Control V. Okay, so and you can just give ITLE TLE Control V. I'm just going to remove these two and add relation, add below of the bottom of the statement of actual services. Control E. So now I have all three references which are used to extract the checkboxes. So now let's see how to extract the checkboxes. What I'm just going to do is I'm going to add a region element. And in the region element, this will be a statement of actual services value. In the relation, I'm going to define the relation with respect to this. Below of the top of this with minus 20, right? And I'm just going to do the same thing with 4 and above of the bottom with 20 and left of the left with 0 and right of the left with minus 65. So now if you just look at this, we have extracted exactly this area. So this is how you can just go ahead and define the region element which is going to cover all this whole checkbox field, right? So I'm just going to do the same thing for other two elements. Control A. You can just go ahead and copy the relation and paste it for the other elements. Okay, so let me just copy the whole element itself. Okay, we are done with this. So let's create one element for this value. I'm just going to change this reference element from state actual services to request of this. Request of predetermination. Request of predetermination. Apply. Okay, so what you can just do is go to the relation and then again just check. Okay, this is correct. Okay, so now let's do the same thing for the third value, right? Control V value. Here equals relations. I'm going to change this to the last option. Once you're done with extraction of the values region, you can just do this test run and you can just check whether you're able to get the proper elements. Yes, that's correct. So now let's create a block for these check boxes, right? So you have this check mark group and as well as check mark. So I'll just create a group and I'm just going to give the name as type of transactions because I want that results inside of a single group, right? This is my one single question in which I'm extracting all the values. So I'm just going to add block and I'm going to add a checkbox and then I'm going to give statement of actual services and I'm going to apply this. Okay, let's create two more with the request. You have to give the block name properly because this is what it's going to reflect when you're actually creating a fc.or or the document definition basically, right? So make sure you're giving the proper values when you are working with the block names. Okay, and then this one EPSDT and I'm going to map EPSDT title value. So now we are good. So let us test again. So if you just look at this, these are the three blocks which is actually extracted. How we are going to get the values? That's where the trick is to extract the values for checkboxes, right? I'm just going to export this to okay. Create and I'm going to open my administration station. Administrator station is also called a project setup station. I think based on whatever the type of projects you will be having that specific names. That's all. right? Training. Okay, I do have it here. So let's open the existing one. Open the project. Right? So this is the same project which we have used in our previous trainings. I'm just going to modify the same thing. So in this tools, update flexi layouts, I'm just going to import the updated one. This, click on update. So if you just look at this, now I got this 3 elements, right? So let me delete this. Save. Document definition, properties, layouts. Okay. Okay. Dataset, I do not have any of these things. Correct. Okay. Close, publish. Okay. But yeah, I'll show you the differences once we make the property, before changing the properties and after changing the properties, right? So let me take the sample, go back to my administration station, Control V. It's going to take some time to load the samples. So you will be able to see what is actually going on with the background task over here with the status. And okay, added. And it is just going to recognize. So the files has been added and the files is in the recognition mode. So you will be able to see what is actually the status of each and every file or something in the document definition level, right? So let me open this first. Okay, so if you just look at this here, it says multiple items and other stuffs. So if you just look at this, it has been highlighted properly, but it is not extracted what it needs to be extracted, right? So let's go and change the properties now. Project, document definition, and I'll go to the document definition. If you double click on that, you will be able to get this. So here, if you just look at this is a without frame. But in our requirement, we have the proper square as a frame. So I'm just going to do this. I'll click on apply and I'll go to the general, okay, data. So here if you want to allow multiple selection, or if I want to allow the empty selection, or if you need any of the changes needs to be done before the validation and the verification, you can just go ahead and do this, right? So you can actually work with each and every properties with the field level and also with the group level. So if the same property is going to apply for all the elements inside of the group, you can just go and change the properties here itself so that it's going to reflect the same properties inside of all the elements. So if you just look at this, whatever the changes which I had done for the outer one is reflected inside in all of them, right? So recognition is in the square, yeah, square and allow multiple selections. Okay, I'm just going to save this now and close, publish, yes. And once we are done with this, let's re-recognize this. Recognize. It has been just started. So if you just double click on that, you will be knowing what actually going on and what is the task which is actually working on, right? Okay, now this has been finished. So let's see. Multiple items has been selected. Okay, wait, just give me a minute. I don't want this. Okay, how to see what is actually extracted in this, right? So for that, what we can just do is right click and export. Okay, could not export. Now export to data files and train sample. Yes. Okay. Option documents train defined train. Okay, here is my file which needs to be saved here. Paste. Meanwhile, I'll also show you the different properties, how we can play with these things, right? So I just don't want any of these files basically. I just want one file, project document definition here. So now we have seen, now I have made it as a multiple selection allowed, right? So let me uncheck this and just give the allow empty selection. And also, for example, to export the value, what exactly the value which needs to be exported and all of those things. If you want to change that, you will be able to do it. If you want to export as a number, you can also do it. And if you want, okay, for the statement of AS, exported value should be if it should be just SO AS or something like that. If you want to make any of the changes, you can just come here and edit them, and you can just do whatever the values you are expecting, whether if it is just a true or false, or if you just want to extract as 1 or 0, or if you want to extract the exact value which has been which has been there in the file, you will be able to do all those changes over here, right? So let me add, I just want to delete this page. Yep. And I'm going to add pages and Control C, browse, Control V, and finish. And once we will be able to upload all these samples, okay, so I'm just going to delete all this, unwanted sheets from the second one. This is just to make sure, because when we are doing the proper solutioning, definitely Abby will be taking care of all this, what you call the division of each and every pages based on the header and footer, which we are going to work. All of those things, which is going to work completely fine when we are creating a proper solution, end-to-end solution. But since here we are not creating an end-to-end solution, there might be a kind of little bit hiccups, which I'm just going to try to avoid that, right? So delete, delete, and the last page. Let me delete the last page. So now I have just one page. I can just go testing and run test. And here the first value has been selected. And if you just look at this, I got whatever the value which has been selected. The statement of AS has been selected out of 3. So even if you want to extract any of these things, definitely you will be able to get all these things. And if the requirement is to allow the multiple selection, so in that case, what happens is like in the drop down, you will be able to see just like multiple items has been selected. That's all. Other than that, if it is an empty selection, you will just get the selection as no item has been selected. And whatever the changes which you want, you will be able to get it as it is. What really important things which is going to take care or take a major role in the checkbox is the properties. So definitely from the layout, whatever we are going to pass is just the region element along with the blocks. That's all. There is nothing else which we can do it anything over here. But what is the format of the specific checkbox which we are extracting and how are we going to deal with all of those things is mainly because of these properties. So make sure if you want to export the value, okay, I'll show you. Okay, I'm just going to close this. Yes. And I'm going to publish. Yes. I'll just close, right click. I'm just going to do the re-recognize. It is re-recognizing. Completed successfully. And when I just double click on that, I'm able to get this is the value which has been selected in the checkbox. And I can do export to data to the files and test samples. Click on export. I can just go here. So this is the latest one. I'm just going to copy this. This is 952 latest one. I'm just going to copy this, paste, and let me open this. And if you just look at this, this is SOAS. SOAS is the value which I have defined here that what needs to be extracted, right? So that's how you can just go ahead and edit the value which needs to be exported to your database or to the output files based on the value which has been checked or based on the unchecked. So, any questions so far with respect to the extraction of the checkboxes, how to edit the output value which needs to be exported, and also the properties like recognition properties. So, if you are not sure what is exactly is whether it is a with frame, whether it is a without frame, if you are not sure about that, you can just go ahead and click on auto. It will try to get the actual format and it's going to process it. But it is always a good practice that if you know exactly what is the structure of the checkboxes which you are going to get, please go ahead and specify that specific structure is what the good practice, I would say. So any questions so far with respect to how to extract checkboxes, how to edit the values to export the checkboxes or anything with respect to this?
No, Divya. We have no questions now.
Okay. So, are we good for today?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
So maybe in coming sessions, let's go ahead and create how to get the values of the checkboxes inside of the repeating group or inside of the table if the same checkboxes is exporting, or when we are working with the document definition, because it says in last 3 sessions so far we have seen how to extract the values, the simple values, how to extract the table values using the tables and as well as the repeating group. And also now we know how to extract the checkboxes. So maybe in coming days, let's deal with the document definition level more than the layout levels, right? So how to write a script for each and every elements which we are going to create, and how are we going to ingest the .NET references or the libraries which are available in the framework, which we will be able to just invoke them, and how to modify the data which comes from the layout, whether to remove the noises or whether to modify that. For example, from the whole name, how to divide the first name, last name, or the middle name. Or if we pick the first name, last name, and middle name, how to pass that as a single value to the database. So all those things which comes in the script level. So maybe in our coming sessions, we'll see how to write those scripts and how can we modify the data which we will be extracting from the layouts. So yeah, all good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you everyone. Have a great day. Bye bye.
Thank you, Divya.